All right, I'd like to welcome Lonni Rasmussen, founder and president of Kreet Construction, to the Contractor's Bible. Lonni, thanks for being with me today. I appreciate you making the time.
Thanks for having me.
So Lonni started Kreet back in 2013 after almost 15 years in the manufacturing machining business. He started with his cousin who'd been in the construction industry for 20 plus years. So Lonni really focuses on the estimating and office side, and his cousin really focuses on the operational side in the field. Kreet is a full-service general contractor, but they specialize in self-performance of concrete flatwork. So anything from footings and foundations, stamped concrete and sidewalks. But it really takes a professional contractor to be able to do this precise work properly. So Lonni and his team have really shown the ability to, and as they've continued to grow over the last 7 years of business. So again, Lonni, thanks for being on and sharing some of your expertise in your industry.
Really?
So tell me, manufacturing machining, how did you originally get into that? Because it's a little bit different than the flat work that you guys are doing.
Originally, back in high school, I was pouring concrete, and here in Utah, it's kind of seasonal. Winter came around, and we kind of ran out of work, so I found a night job, turning machines, running a lathe, and when the concrete kind of started kicking back up again, I actually kind of got in a groove of like, this is kind of nice, sitting in a nice air-conditioned building and turn parts. So, and it was consistent. Construction just wasn't consistent for me at the time. So I got into it and I really liked it. It was something new. Really enjoyed programming. And I liked it.
Okay.
Something new every day, some different parts, and it was fun.
I have to ask, have you used that background to create anything in your own business that's just, I don't know, maybe it's proprietary to you guys or something that you've used your background in that machining that, you've made some crazy contraption that works amazing for what the work you guys are doing?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we used to use AutoCAD and a lot of different softwares, and just the functionality of the businesses that I was working for. I kind of incorporated that into what we're doing now. So, when it comes to even just as simple as a site trailer, the planning that goes into it, that we can draw it up, and I'll actually draw it up on AutoCAD, lay it out, make sure it works on paper before we start building it, and that way we know the fit, form, and function of this trailer is good. As simple as it is, it helps out tremendously for the guys. It cuts down on, time and cost of unpacking a trailer and packing it. It's all organized and put together properly. Yeah,
I mean, the planning, they say in contracting, measure twice and cut once, right?
Yes, planning is huge.
Planning is massive. So tell me, there's, every business goes through challenges, right? So tell me one job where maybe the planning didn't go exactly right, but you learned a great lesson and were able to fix it the next time you ran into something like that.
Oh, well, that happens quite often. You can plan, but there's some unexpected things that you just don't account for. And in this this industry of concrete, weather is tough. If you don't plan for it and it's unexpected, it can get ugly on you in a hurry. With laying down flat work and having rain hit you, and you don't have your plastic or something planned for it, it can ruin a slab in no time. And it's no fun tearing out a concrete slab.
Sure.
Other things is not having the proper equipment on site when you need it. If something fails, not having backup. If you got which just happened the other day, we had two vibra machines, and one of them failed. We went to the next one, and it failed, and we were left scrambling to run to grab more vibra to get this concrete down. So basically planning.
Yeah.
Making sure you have everything in good working order and have backups.
People don't really realize there's so much that goes into laying concrete. It's like a giant chemistry experiment, right? It's all about the weather, the humidity, the temperature. It all makes everything change.
Yeah, it's not like a bucket of paint. You can't put a lid on it and come back to it later. When it's in the ground, you're working under the cloth.
Absolutely. So tell me, what's one tool, right? Well, you really you manage and make sure everything runs efficiently behind the scene, right? What's besides the AutoCAD, because I guess that's an obvious answer for somebody that's got a machining background. What's one tool or software that you just couldn't live without in your business?
Tools and software that we couldn't live without. Obviously, we do everything now on the computer and with Bluebeam and
Okay.
estimating. So as far as digitizing everything, and we do all of our estimating, so we know how much concrete's going in and we're just off the blueprints. We don't go out there with a tape measure, measure it anymore and say, okay, we need this much. We already have it laid out and we already know how much is going in the ground by just having software for estimating. And a lot of times they don't even put the dimensions on the plans anymore. You got to go back to Bluebeam and draw it out and see what the dimensions are.
Absolutely. You guys take that. Do you guys do a site visit beforehand just to double check and make sure everything cross references, or you're going that should be accurate enough?
Usually we make everything to plan.
Okay.
So usually it's just enough. If something's out, like we'll go down and just make sure the site's prepped and ready to go for us before we mold the whole crew on. But typically it's to plan, and if we have an issue, then we have to bring it up before we put any concrete on the ground.
Yeah.
Typically, everything is usually just done off the drawings, and if it's not the drawing, then we don't like to.
So what's one of your favorite projects that you've ever done? I've seen you guys have done some big stuff, some small stuff, right? But what's one that stands out as one of the favorite ones you've ever done?
Honestly, I don't know if I have just one favorite. Each has its own little nick that is pretty impressive. We've done some really tight radiuses on the Linden scale house that was really neat to do. Tight radiuses, it looked good. We've done some tall architectural radius walls at BYU College that turned out really fun to do. And probably one of our better ones was a building, a 2-story building in Farmington that was just massive, and that was fun, getting up there putting down that much money.
I think that's one of the best things about being a contractor is when you go back, you could drive by that same place 10 years later and it's still there, and you get this feeling that's like, I had a part of that.
Oh yeah, there's several Starbucks we've done and McDonald's and things, and when you drive through that drive-through, like, yep, we did that.
It's fantastic. So what's one of your favorite things about this industry?
The favorite thing is probably learning new things. Every project's different, so it's never the same. You get to learn something new almost on every job. Every job, things are changing. Architects are coming out with new designs and different things. So that's the neat thing. It's not like an assembly line where you're doing the same thing every day. Every day there's something different. There's always a wrench thrown in there that you get to work at to change and work around and make it better.
Sure.
So that's probably the best thing about it is it's a new building every day.
You're always thinking outside the box to find a solution to a new challenge, right?
Absolutely. There's always room for improvement.
100%. So what's one of, I don't want to say one of your least favorite things, but what's one of the biggest challenges that you run into on a consistent basis in the industry?
Probably the biggest challenge would be on the back end, right now, manpower. We are definitely struggling on manpower with a lot of building going on in Utah. So there's Facebook, there's a prison going in, and with the airport, they've taken a lot of the talent. So right now, the biggest challenge is talent and getting skilled workers to come out.
Yeah. People don't realize how skilled you actually have to be to get that type of work done the right way. It's not as easy as not as easy as going to Home Depot, getting a couple bags of concrete and putting in your at-home basketball hoop. Digging
Oh,
a hole and filling it in and making it flat.
no, not at all. Yep.
Couple challenges to it.
Yeah, my wife just barely realized that the other day when she asked to do some patio and whatnot in the back. She's like, oh, it's just pour it in mud. It comes out smooth. I'm like, no, we're going to need probably 5-day guys to get this done. And she was blown away by how much work goes into laying down some concrete.
Yeah, it's sloping it the right way, having the right finish, the whole thing. It really is an art, right? Like they say, bricklayers are almost like artists. It's a tough thing. Flatwork is similar in a sense. It's almost like art, being able to get it to be exactly perfect with the right pitch and the right finish and the right tone and all those other things that go into it. So what's one of your, I would say, what's one thing that getting into this industry has given to you that you never thought you would? So you spent almost 15 years in the machining and manufacturing and then kind of got back into the contracting side. So what has contracting been able to give to you in the last 7 years that you didn't really think was going to be possible?
Probably the biggest thing would be the self-worth, just to look back at the projects that you do and see how much you've accomplished and know that that was all your countless hours, endless nights, and to watch the company grow. That's pretty impressive to see where we started from working out of the back of our pickup trucks, just the two of us, doing a back patio to now doing commercial concrete projects. And that's probably the neatest thing is watching things grow and the equipment that we acquire over the years. And now to see the massive projects we can do now to where we started. That's probably the most rewarding.
It's like raising a kid, your business, right? Being able to see your baby kind of grow and prosper, and you can look back and see all the things that you've done and
yeah, when it gets big and send them off to college and pretty
absolutely.
impressive.
So if you could, I would say maybe even back as far as getting into the machining, right? You were in the contracting and construction business for a couple of years, and when that slowed down, you went into the machining and took a little bit of a different turn with that. But if you could go back, what would be some advice that you would give yourself back then?
Before I did the machining?
Yeah.
Back then, I was so young that I don't even know I would even take my own advice. It's hard to say. That I just had to learn on my own by trial and error, working for somebody else for so long, which I enjoyed doing. I mean, there was a peace of mind working for somebody else, and I really enjoyed it. I had I would say a pretty easier life, it was simplified.
Sure.
And, one day I was at work and I ended up breaking my arm, and we were on hourly, and I asked the owner if I could pick up some more hours because I was worried about the medical bills, and he said no. That's kind of what got me to jump the gun and start this company, was just needing that extra little bit. So I actually started this company with my cousin, and I started putting the business together and working on it at night. So I still work my full-time job, and I would work full-time job at night, and I'd work this full-time job, or my full-time day job, and I'd come home at night till like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, just working on estimating. That's just keeping the guys busy. It wasn't a great way of life, being a single parent with 3 kids and having kids at home. Was nice to be able to work from home doing it. But, my little one would have to make a bed in my office next to me and fall asleep. It was challenging for quite a while there. It was really challenging. And taxing, but well worth it. You know, after 3 years, finally getting out, and kind of got forced to do this full time. I really like it now because I do have that time with the kids now, and a little bit more say on where I can focus my time.
Sure.
If I put more time into it, I can. Nobody tells me, no, I can't. You got to stop working. So sometimes I'm a workaholic, and it's nice to put that work in.
It's amazing the stories that I've heard of people that have created these great businesses. And I can't tell you how many people have said, you know, I moved away from this one job and I know I only had enough money for 5 months or 6 months.
Yeah.
I had to make this work, or I was working on this job full time and I was doing this on the side, and you continue to grow slowly but surely. You get to the next project and the next project and the next project, and all of a sudden now you've got 3 projects or 4 projects going at the same time, and you wake up one day and you realize I don't need that full-time job anymore. I can do this full-time, and like you said, it's very rewarding to see where you have started and where you end up with all the hard work that you put in.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I appreciate all the time that you've taken to share your story. It's been a pleasure to be able to share this time and hear your feedback, and hopefully some people that watch this or listen to this can take from your experiences and take something away and build their own business. So thank you very much for joining me on the Contractor's Bible.
You're absolutely. Thanks for having me.